Blaine set out to remain frozen in a block of ice in the middle of Times Square for 72 hours. After training for a year with ice-cold water, Blaine believed he was ready to endure a stunt he called Frozen in Time. Lightly dressed in a long-sleeve t-shirt, some pants, and a beanie, Blaine began shivering as blocks of ice were placed around him. A tube supplied him with air and water, while his urine was removed with another tube. The ice was transparent and resting on an elevated platform to show that he was actually inside the ice the entire time. During the stunt, Blaine couldn't sleep because touching the ice with any part of his body for a long period of time would have caused frostbite. Around hour 55, his eyes went out, and he started hallucinating, saying that he was talking to imaginary people, and they were talking back, and spiders were crawling all over him. But he knew he was in serious trouble when he thought a few hours had passed, when in reality, only 1 minute had passed.
And I was convinced that I was dead and she could no longer see me.
As the crowd shouts, "Let him out," the assistants decide to set him free, despite David's demands to not let him out before the 72-hour goal under any circumstance. Blaine was ultimately confined in the box of ice for 63 hours, 42 minutes, and 15 seconds before being removed with chainsaws. He nearly died in that ice, but he just as easily could have died from shock after he exited the ice. He was immediately taken to the hospital for treatment. It took 1 month to fully recover. He said he couldn't move his feet for weeks. But this time, the critics were silenced. There was no way to fake this. Whether you saw it on TV or in real life, you knew this was as real as it gets. David told himself that he would never attempt a stunt of this difficulty in the future, but his yearning to face death would creep up again just 2 years later. Blaine